Good morning, guys. Another little waffle on old school stuff. This is aimed a little bit at my niece, who we were discussing off-grid activity, talking about generators and the like, and she covets a large Honda generator I've got. Why, you'll have to wait till I kick the bucket, love. But the point I was trying to make to her is that you wouldn't run a diesel or petrol generator day and night on the off chance that you might want to get up in the middle of the night and turn a light on. And I suggested it's far better to have a low voltage system throughout, say 12 volts. You could then use a car battery or more than one to run low consumption LEDs. You could light up an entire house day and night with LEDs for what they use, and you probably wouldn't flatten a car battery considerably. And in any case, you could trickle charge the batteries with a solar cell or perhaps a small wind generator. I'm in the process of making one for my boat to keep the battery topped up. More on that later. Simple design. And, you know, you could use for lighting oil, all sorts of things, heating, wood burners, do cooking on there. So I'm trying to avoid the noise of running a generator. And the only things you probably would need, or would need consideration, is perhaps if you've got gas central heating, you want to run the pump, well, you can buy 12 volt pumps. So that does away with that. And perhaps a fridge. Well, you can get fridges that run on gas, bottled gas. So that's another alternative there. And use a 12 volt system. It's much safer for you to install, and providing you reduce all losses, good quality cables and things. Seems ideal. As I say, you'd probably never flatten the battery for what you was contemplating. Should you wish to use mains for some things, I think most of it could be avoided, but you can use an inverter. They're pretty small nowadays and with high output. And but don't forget, there's no such thing as free energy, and everything has to come from that inverter. It comes from a battery. And I'm not a lover of them anyway. Now here I've got, which is what this waffle's on about, is an Olval radio. Still in existence, by the way. This is a very early power transistor driven oscillator that fires through a transformer, centre tap transformer, and the output comes from the next winding. And because it's coming out from a transformer, it's a good sinusoidal wave. It's a good form of wave. Now you won't get this from modern little inverters, because they use a switch mode power switching arrangement. Awful damn things. Always noisy, a horrible coggy sort of waveform out. So I don't think we've progressed that far, have we? Okay, this is a bit of a lump. It's only a couple hundred watts or so output. As I say, it's a different sort of technology. Well, let's be honest. Modern living gives me a wide berth, which is mutual anyway. I'm not a lover of all new. Consumer type society we live in is, you always must have it must be new, as though new is somehow good. No, it's not. It's untested, and because we're moving along this consumer type society, it has little value. Not in terms of the money you have to pay for it, but in terms of what it does. Because hey, if you've got a computer or a phone, and it's last year's, it's old hat, isn't it? I mean, crikey. Don't worry too much. There's a new upload. You can upgrade, and there's another down the road, right? And because of this, it's awful. As I say, modern technology gives me a wide berth. So it's of no value. But when these things were made, you know, they were made. Yes, it might be laughable to you younger ones, but anyway, this is what was around in my day, and it wasn't called an inverter, it was called a transverter. And I'll do some other details on something like this, but it's 12 volts in, and here on the front I put a modern 13 amp type socket, so we get mains out. So you put 12 volts in when we want it, and when we do need something with a bit more substantial power, for short periods of course, such as this blockbuster drill, which is a real booty. I paid £1 for at a boot sale. Can you believe it? £1. It was on the floor, on the ground, with a sticker £1. And I was late going to the boot sale, and normally you lose all the bargains. But it sat down there, and I didn't even ask the bloke, does it work? For £1, that chuck and key has got to be worth £1. So I bought it, and of course it works beautifully, doesn't it? Anyway, should I want to use a gutbuster thing like that, I can do. I can put that in and switch that on, and as you can hear, it's silent. But at the same time, it will run that. And that battery is a donkey's years old and is not particularly a mucker. Anyway, it gives you an indication what can be done. So I hope that's explained a bit, Carol. That's what I was trying to do. But there are always alternatives, I think. You're going to use a low voltage system, such as a battery. I mean, LEDs that use so little current, you could run on there and they would run day and night for a week and you wouldn't even flatten this whole thing. And as I say, you can trickle charge them up. There's no such thing as free energy, but there are ways around it and you can conserve that energy. Anyway, I could go on for 1,000 videos with all this old stuff, but I don't really want to bore the pants out of the rest of you. I have a bit of a following, I grant you, that like this sort of old stuff, but if you look at the statistics, they're all male and they're all from middle age upwards. I suppose it says something about me, but I don't care. Anyway, let me know in the comments if you particularly like this sort of a video, because I can do 1,000 more on old equipment and stuff I've got here, but just how well that goes down on YouTube, I do not know. Anyway, I'm into waffle mode. Let me know what you think, and I'll do more on batteries and battery charging and some of the things I've come up with that you may find of some interest. If you look on YouTube, you won't see that, I don't think. So it's unique in that sense. And at the end of this video, there's a few still shots of the interior, and well, you'll see when you get to the end of the video, unless you've disappeared. This is the underside view of the transverter, and here is our mains output and centre tap input transformer that the transistors flip-flop into. If I can get rid of this picture somewhere. That's it. This screwdriver is pointing to 1 ohm resistor. It looks like a piece of bar element. There's another one underneath, and there's 2 more over there. And there are 4 transistors, the other side here, that operate the oscillator. You can see here it's all dusty, but I haven't disturbed anything. It's been on the shelf for years. Anyway, let's get rid of this one. These are the power transistors that comprises of the oscillator, and with very few components, and the impedance of the transformer, it actually oscillates at 50 cycles, or hertz if you prefer nowadays. So that's some clever designing there in terms of making it mains frequency. Here's the circuit diagram. It's a bit tatty, but you should just be able to make it out. And these resistors here, the 1 ohm resistors, are the ones I previously showed you, and these are the power transistors. They're something like 2N35.5s or something like that. The polarity might be different. They might be PNP, I don't know. But no, they're not. Yes, they are. They are. Yes, the arrow is on the outside. Or is it? No, I can't. Yes, it is. It points to the plate. So these are PNPs. Okay, I hope that's thrown a little bit of light on it. More to come later on.